Megatripper, welcome to another very special episode from Central Bali, from Ubud. If you joined me on my last episode, you'd have seen that we got a tour around, I guess, some of the tourist hotspots with our friend Agung, who showed us around, but he also gave us some great tips. You'd have seen in the last video, perhaps things were a little bit touristy, but I also got a list off him of other things to do, and today we're going solo. Now I've got to grips with the city a little bit, got ourselves a motorbike, we're going to check out what else there is to do here in Ubud. Here's what's coming up on this episode of Megatrip. Oh, hello, and a dog. Always a dog. I was just walking along here, and two young lads, both 16, Pura and Daria, they came up to me and they said, "Excuse me, sir, we'd like to practice English with you." The Pura Dalem. This is the palace that was the residence of the royal family here in Ubud in Bali. Now is the time, I have to admit, I think I've failed, and there's actually 193 long-tailed macaques in this particular troop. Through the magic of editing, you now know more than I do about what's coming up on this episode of Megatrip, what's going to happen to me in the next 24 hours or so. But like I was saying, in the last episode here in Bali, Agung, our local tour guide, showed us around some of the tourist hotspots. Today, we're going to do things a little bit differently. I do have some tips from Agung. I've hired myself a little motorbike, a little scooter. That was for the wonderful cost of 100,000 a day, Indonesian rupiah. So what's that? That's about £5 sterling, probably what, about $6 or $7 for the day. And I'm going to be taking myself around Ubud and showing you what you can see if you're here. So we're doing things a little bit differently. In the last video, and like I said, if you haven't watched it, do go back and watch it. In the last video, we hit up some of the tourist hotspots. We paid into a lot of places, a lot of tourist places. We're not going to be doing that today. We're going to be doing things on the cheap, on the bike. We're not paying into anywhere. Watch me break that rule. Anyway, I'll talk to you a bit more about what we're doing today in a minute, but for now, cue the music. So the first stop on today's self-guided adventure is the Campuhun Ridge Walk. It was recommended to me by my guide. I've seen it on Google, but I'll be honest, I think I'm here now, and I don't see too much in terms of ridge walk. But what I do see is a beautiful little river with some steps running down to it, and quite an impressive bridge going over. And that's actually the bridge we drove over to get here. And you can see back up the river here. All of central Bali, or all of the Ubud region, from what I can tell, is made up by these steep valleys and these rivers that are all connected. And they're connected in terms of physical connection, but also in terms of religious significance, or at least cultural significance. Anyway, can't really see too much more down here, so I'm going to hike back up and see if there's anything else to see, and if not, we'll just head off and we'll see what else there is here in Ubud. There we go, that's a little bit better. I think I found the proper footpath on the other side of the bridge. You can see here, crossing the river further upstream, a nicely laid out footpath past this temple up here, Bukit Campuhun. No idea what that means. My Indonesian hasn't really got there in the few days I've been here. Really interesting language though, the way it sounds. Lots of consonants. Actually quite easy to pronounce if you take your time and think about it when you're reading it. Anyway, check this out. Unlike the temples we've seen in other videos, you can't get into this one. And it looks like a goodie. All these amazing stone carvings, and that's something that you see everywhere here on the roadside. Ubud is an area for arts and crafts. Lots of Western companies export goods from here, and you can see it come to life really in the temples that are everywhere, but temples, homes. They all have this amazing Balinese style. See the carvings. Wow. What a lovely walk. Let's, oh, hello, and a dog. Always a dog. Let's keep strolling. All right, so the Campuhun trail. It's a couple of kilometers long. It's right in the heart of the city, and it gets you up into some nice leafy areas with some nice views. I was just walking along here, and two young lads, both 16, Pura and Daria, they came up to me and they said, "Excuse me, sir, we'd like to practice English with you." So I've just spent 10 minutes having a lovely conversation with two young lads who want to work in hospitality. What a nice way to start the day. Hang on, let's have a quick look at this. Look at this view here. Wow. I mean, Bali really is a special place. So yeah, like I said, what a nice way to start the day. And I think it speaks a lot of the people here. I was talking to a gung yesterday, who you can see in another video, and he was really saying that the whole island massively suffered during COVID. As really now they are quite dependent on tourism. But how do I say this? Things don't feel forced, things don't feel over touristified. I mean, yes, some of the stuff is, but they depend on tourism or foreigners, but they do a lot of trade, they produce a lot here, produce a lot of goods, and of course they have this absolutely amazing scenery to attract people here. So I do recommend you come. I'm really interested to see what the quieter bits of the island are like, and I'll be heading there next. But anyway, let's have one more little look at this view. Stunning. Is that what you're waking up to this morning? I know when I'm back in London it won't be. It will certainly be a lot colder. So as we wander down to our next destination, having just parked the bike, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about riding a bike in Bali and in Ubud in particular. I'm not too proud to say that when I turned up here, the traffic massively intimidated me. It is crazy. You can see it in some of my earlier videos. I think the bonus episode where I share a moto taxi ride through the city. But it became pretty clear to me after a day or so, really bike is still the best way to get around. And actually, the second that I started riding this morning, I felt completely comfortable. Yes, it's a bit intimidating, but if you're used to either riding a bicycle or a motorbike in a busy city where the traffic's a bit mental, I used to cycle through central London the whole time. Actually, it's just like that, and it actually feels quite safe. Nothing's moving too fast. You can follow the locals if you don't know what you're doing. All of that being said, I would give it a pretty high kind of difficulty scale. So again, not one if it's your first time riding a scooter or riding a motorbike. If you've got a bit of experience, particularly if you cycle through busy cities like New York, Paris, London, definitely one to do. And one of the advantages of it being so busy at things like complicated junctions, you can just follow a local. There's always plenty of people riding on each side of you. They all know what they're doing. Well, most of them do anyway, so you can do that. In terms of the hiring process, as usual, super simple. Asked at the desk in my hotel, I'd always recommend you do that. Then you've got a bit of extra backup and security, knowing it's through the people that you're staying with. The guy turns up, fill in some paperwork, they chuck you the keys, and you're away. What's not to like? Right, let's go check out the next spot on this destination where, like I said, I'm not paying for anything. So this is the beautiful temple of Pura, Dalem. Let's take a little walk down and have a look. A level crossing. Let's see what using one of those is like in Bali. Ubud. I think we're just going to go for it. Excellent. So, I've just turned up It looks like the temple is actually closed at the moment for visitors, but hey, we weren't going to pay to get in anyway, so let's just have a little look. I mean, this really is a stunner. Wow, why didn't we come here yesterday? Let's start with the cat up on the sculptures. Stone lions and other Hindu gods adorning the stairs of the temple, all with flowers behind their ears, blessed in the traditional Balinese way. And at the top of the stairs there, the famous Balinese Hindu gates. I did a little bit of reading on those, having asked Agung about them yesterday. Check out that video, I'm going to keep saying that. Great tour guide, best in Ubud. Now, those gates that you see absolutely everywhere, they represent the bridge between this dimension and the dream dimension. So in Balinese tradition, there are two dimensions to reality: the normal one that we all live in, and the dream dimension. And that's what those gates are all about. They're about that bridge between those two worlds. Hey, look, it's mythical, it's cultural, it's cool, and my God, they're beautiful. Our next destination on today's self-guided tour of Ubud is Ubud Palace. This is the palace that was the residence of the royal family here in Ubud in Bali. I think we've just come across it. Let's take a little look inside. Ooh, it's a little busy in here. And see what we can see. Wow. So we wander through this side exit. You can see they're working on it, keeping it up to date. And on this traditional bamboo scaffolding that you see absolutely everywhere. Ooh, dive into the shade, give you a few little facts and figures. So the Ubud Palace was built on this site between 1800 and 1823. But there was then a massive earthquake in 1917, which basically, not destroyed, but knocked off a lot of the elements of the Ubud Palace. So then by 1928 it was rebuilt, or at least reinvigorated, and opened to the public, to guests, to come and see this amazing palace. Wow. It is pretty. Again, you can see all the deities not only dressed in sarong, but with the Balinese flowers behind the ears. Part of the blessing process here, you have holy water shaken on you, you have flowers put behind your ears, and rice pressed to the forehead. We're now inside the royal palace, or the Ubud Palace, and you can see it is rather a pretty place and rather small. Wow. Not exactly sure which of these gates it is, but when I was doing some reading about this place, it did say that one of these gates was actually carved by a 116-year-old architect. Imagine that, 116 years old and making beauty like this. Absolutely stunning. Right, let's carry on with our self-guided whistle-stop tour of Ubud on the cheap, not paying for anything. Maybe next we'll go check out some wildlife, who knows. Just a couple of kilometers from the Ubud Palace, we have reached our next destination. And I think now is the time, I have to admit, I think I've failed. I think I have failed on not paying any entrance anywhere. I came here, I turned into the car park, and I was instantly forced into a one-way system. I had to take a little ticket, so I'm almost definitely paying to get out, if not paying to get in. But hey ho, you can't win them all. I'm sure it won't be a lot. Anyway, let's get inside and see what this next little destination is all about. Okay, so we are through the gates and we are in, and this destination is the famous Ubud Monkey Forest. Now, as I was coming in, there were lots of signs warning you not to bring in food, not to hide food, not to look the monkeys in the eye, not to run away. So I'm expecting them to be right little scamps, let's say. But let's have a little wander into the monkey forest here in Ubud. I mean, it is pretty. It's very well kept. And yes, I did fail. I did have to pay to get in. A whole 80,000 Indonesian rupiah. So what's that? It's about £4 sterling, probably about $5-6, something like that. But everyone here has been super nice. There's loads of staff on hand to help you. So you are getting what you pay for. And you can tell just by these well-maintained walkways as you head in. They do look after it. And you see some nice sculptures of the monkeys here in the monkey forest. Now I wonder if these are going to be long-tailed macaques like the ones that we saw in the Philippines. Check out the best tour guide in Puerto Princesa video if you want to see that. Oh wow, I can hear some screaming, monkey screaming. Let's have a little wander in and see what we can see. It really is a stunning little setup here. Check out the Norks on this lass. Wow, he's having a right old feel. Cheeky monkey. Cheeky monkey. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. Don't know which one of those I'd be. Probably hear no evil, but that's just come a bit deaf. Well, I can definitely confirm there are monkeys here. Oh, here we can see a couple of guys eating some corn, which I think you can buy and feed them. Not sure I'll be doing that. Let's get past this lady taking a video. Enjoy your corn, mate. Okay, so it looks like you can, if you want to feed the monkeys, come down here, buy some corn for 50,000 Indonesian rupiah. Feed it to the monkeys. I'm sure you make them very happy. Right, let's have a little mooch through. Oh, hang on, before I do, what's this guy trying to do? You see this dude, slightly bigger monkey, maybe a bit smarter, maybe pregnant female. Trying to get into the bin, into the stash. Very smart. So, believe it or not, this traditional or sacred monkey forest here in Ubud has been around since the 11th century. Initially it was kind of royal grounds for hunting, and then from that time it's been conserved for the public to see. And that means that back from the 11th century they've left behind this ancient legacy. And you can really see the age of this place. I know I keep showing trees in my Bali videos, but they're one of the best things here. Look how cool this is. Must be 1,000 years old at least. So this site that is now I guess a tourist attraction, was historically a hunting conservation, if you like. This was set up on a site of a village called Padang Tigal back in the 11th century, and still to this day populated by monkeys, both the little furry ones and also, you know, the great apes like you and I are here looking at them, chilling out, calm as you like. Haven't been quite as cheeky as I thought they were going to be, but very cool nonetheless. Chilling out by the water. are very, very cute. The whole crew of them over here being fed by the local guides. Wow, take a look at these. What a sight, what a sight. Let's keep on wandering. Get away from the madding crowd, as they say. Not to go all Attenborough on you, but I have figured out that, as suspected, these are long-tailed macaques, just like the ones we saw in the Philippines, in Puerto Princesa, on the island of Palawan. There are 7 groups, or 7 troops. I know that's only 5, but I'm holding the camera with my other hand. 7 troops of monkeys here. Each of those groups, family groups if you like, range from about 100 to 120. So quick maths, you know, back of a fag packet in your head, that's probably what, about 800 to almost 1,000 monkeys, or long-tailed macaques more specifically, roaming around this forest, this little park here. And I would say it's not just the monkeys. There's these sculptures absolutely everywhere you go. I mean, even if the monkeys weren't here, it's probably worth it just for the little walk about, for a little coolness. So I've made it up to a temple here in the monkey forest in Ubud, and like I said, there's 7 different groups and they all have their own territories if you like. So around here the monkeys are from the temple group or the temple troop, I guess, depending on how you want to do it. And they are, I think I said earlier, there's 100 to 120 monkeys in each of the troops, or long-tailed macaques. But in this particular troop, it is one of the biggest. It's the second biggest of the troops, and there's actually 193 long-tailed macaques in this particular troop. What I think is super interesting, it's also the troop with the highest percentage of females, and maybe that explains the number. They're really getting into the breeding, and you see them playing on the trees. What's not to love about that? A little bit of social grooming. All by this beautiful Balinese temple. These snarling tigers? Pigs? Who knows? One of those. So the temple here is the Pura Dalem Agung, and it's a temple right in the heart of the sacred monkey forest. Can't help but think it's a good sign when there's plenty of first aid spots around. Here, in Monkey Madness, in Monkey Forest. So yes, if you come here, it is all about the monkeys, but not just that. Don't forget, the monkey forest is also that, a forest, a conserved forest. And if you are into your nature, it's got some of the most beautiful tropical jungle woodlands here that you can find. Again, right in the city, right in the middle of Ubud here in Bali. There's also an art gallery, cafes. You can definitely make a day out of it, but it doesn't feel overdone. But it is oh so pretty.
Let's say someone's standing still.
Okay, so I guess we should tackle the elephant in the room, or should I say, the monkey in the room. These places, to me, always feel at least a little bit exploitative. But the cold, hard reality is there are less and less areas of pristine jungle like this, less and less safe places for wildlife to be. So here they look very well looked after. There's lots of people here looking after not only the patrons and the guests, but also the long-tailed macaques themselves, the monkeys themselves. So if a little tourist money and a little enjoyment goes to supporting animals and nature like this, then hey, it can't be a completely bad thing. Okay, Megatripper, well, I hope that you have enjoyed that self-guided tour around Ubud. In the next episode, we'll be heading up north to see a different side of Bali. I'll be releasing new content, new videos every single week on Saturday. That is my commitment to you. So if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, just make sure you subscribe. It's the little icon just down there on YouTube. Costs you nothing, you can cancel at any time. It just means that the videos will appear in your feed. If you turn the notifications on, you'll get a little notification every time I drop some new content, and I will be dropping a few bonus episodes while I'm off traveling. So that's it from me. All that remains for me to say is keep traveling and join me next time here on Megatrip.